একদম একদম আপনার কোনো অসুবিধা হবে না, পাশাপাশি দুটো উইন্ডো খুলে রাখলেই হবে।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
কোনো অসুবিধা নেই। ঠিক আছে ম্যাডাম, আপনি আরম্ভ করতে পারেন, আমি রেকর্ড করে ইয়ে করে দিয়েছি,
আচ্ছা
করতে পারেন, কোনো অসুবিধা নেই।
Good morning, students. May I start my class?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. On last Tuesday, there was some problem with my phone. So I had to finish it at least 10 to 12 minutes before the scheduled time. And I think that I could not give you a few points on the poem that I have taught you in the last class, that mother tongue. Could you tell me that how many points I have given you? First point was the poem was written in free verse.
Ma'am,
you have
you
given us
completed that one. You just told that you will be starting a passage to America, and then your phone was disconnected.
Oh, acha. And I have given you the all the points of on mother tongue.
You have
Yes,
given
ma'am.
us 6 points.
Yes, 6 points. What was the last point?
The reader says he is the servant,
Yes.
doubly a component member of the
Okay, yes, you have completed. Now come to the page number 45 in your text. Come to page number 45. There is another poem that we will start today. Page number 45. The name of the poet is K. Ayappa Panikar, and the name of the poem is Passage to America. This text we will read and analyze, and I'll give you a few points that I used to give every text. Before going to the text, actual text, I will read about the poet himself. That is in point number 4.4, and it is in page number 44. Text is in page number 45, and the introduction about the poet is in page number 44. So I will read just. Are you talking something? Do you want to tell something? Is there any problem?
No, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. 4.4, please go through it. K. Ayappa Panikar, poet and critic, was born in 1930 in Kerala and received his education up to PhD in English. Later, he started teaching and assumed a key role in the creative and academic field. He became a poet of great influence and inspired a whole generation of poets. His critical work was the domain of literary theory. In it, he participated actively and published many books. He wrote poetry in Malayalam and English simultaneously. So we are going to read the poem written by K. Ayappa Panikar, who was a student and a teacher of English. Up to PhD, he exercised his subject English literature, and then he started to write creative poems and also critical writings. He wrote both in Malayalam and in English. This background is necessary for you, so I am reading it. To quote his own words, I was in Bloomington, Indiana, in America, from 1969 to 1971, doing my PhD at Indiana University, taking poetry with Samuel Elaine. I was perhaps writing simultaneously in Malayalam, my mother tongue, and in English, my second language. In the early days, it was quite easy to get used to the new surroundings and make friends with Americans. So, in about writing this poem, in his introduction to the collection of his poems, K. Ayappa Panikar said what was the source of his writing this poem. He was in America and he had just reached there. He has passed a few months, and the feelings and expressions, realization which he had at that time, he narrated it in this poem. And at that time, he was writing both in Malayalam and in English. This poetry was basically written in Malayalam, but later it was translated by the poet himself into English. Last paragraph. K. Ayappa Panikar's poem, A Passage to America, given here for study, is accepted. Now come to the text. Please come to page number 45, text of Passage to America. First I will read the poem, then I will analyze it, and then I will give you points which will help you in preparing your answer. Passage to America. It is as if I suddenly meet you on the way. When I go for my usual walk in the evening, the earth that begins at your feet seems to end at mine. The air you breathe out enters into my lungs, and the light that escapes from your eyes focuses on mine. America. I see your map like the palm of a hand stretched out on my lap. Mississippi traces your lifeline to the south, while the Great Lakes draw circles along the St. Lawrence headline. But where is your heartline? On the mount of Jupiter, New England cocks its eyes at Europe. Your Venus is still in heat. In the far south in Florida, and the Mount of Moon simmers on the California beach. But America? Where has vanished your heartline? This is important. America, where has vanished your heartline? Has some taste expression sucked it underground? I remember river Falgun that goes dry in summer, defying our prayers, where once the Buddha got enlightenment and learned to take the earth for a begging bowl. But here the fission and fusion your scientists envision offer your palmist nothing but confusion. Sailing back from mescaline to marijuana, someone said there never was such a line in this ancient newborn land, where you grow corn and PL 480 and make color TV sets in plenty, till our chests are nearly empty and brains spout tons of TNT. It is Christmas again. The shape of a heart neatly painted to a cross that stand on a hill we have set up with skill. This poem has been translated from the original Malayalam by the author. When we read the poem, the first point that strikes us that in the whole of the poem there is no punctuation. There is no use of comma, full stop, note of interrogation or anything. You have to make use of them when you are reading for your own convenience so that you can get the meaning. Number two, all the letters are in small letter. There is no capital letter except in one, America. The poem is on America. The whole of the poem is written in small, as if like the earlier poet in which there was the use of free verse. You can remember that Sachdev's poem, Mother Tongue. Here is also the poet is revolting against the custom of binding poems into punctuation, into meter, into rhythm. He is using a free verse. He is neither using the capital letters of I or other words pronouncing the proper names. This is number one point. Now come to the text again. It is as if I means here the poet himself, I suddenly meet you on the way when I go for my usual walk in the evening. The art that begins at our feet seems to end at mine. The air you breathe out enters into my lungs, and the light that escapes from your eyes focuses on mine. So this is a poem that expresses the feelings of a person who, from the very birth of and his childhood and his upbringing, up to a certain
Madam, just a minute. Madam, just a minute.
Huh.
Learners, kindly off your video. Learners, kindly off your video. Anaya Das, off your video. Turn off your video. Behave yourself. Don't cross the limitation. Behave yourself. Don't on video, except madam. Okay, madam.
Okay, thank you. So, this is the expression of a poet, of a person who was born and brought up in India. And he has, due to his academic pursuit, he is going to America. And all of a sudden, he comes in contact with a new land, with new atmosphere, new people, new landscape, new earth, as if. He says, it is as if I here means the poet himself, suddenly meet you, you means here America. On the way, when I go for my usual walk in the evening, the art that begins at your feet, this is important, the art that begins at your feet, the art that is beginning the land of America, seems to end at mine. It is somewhere where there is no land of my mind. The poet has reached America, maybe a few months back, maybe a few days back. There is no touch of the earth, of the soil, of his land of India in his feet anymore. He is feeling that his land has ended. India is no more here. The land of India, the earth of India, the dust of India has come to an end at a place where America begins. So these 4 lines, is it clear to you? These 4 lines. Please.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear. Ma'am, may I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
Yes, ma'am. In the beginning of the poem, when we have started reading the poem,
Yeah.
what I analyzed is that it can be like very close connection between a beloved and his can I mention like that?
First read the whole of the poem.
A romantic. When
I don't think,
okay,
I
ma'am.
don't think, I don't think romantic. No, I don't think romantic, because first read the whole of the poem, and then actually any literature can be explained, can be interpreted in your own, according to your own mentality, according to your own approach. No one can tell it wrong. But first read the whole of the poem. After reading the poem, if it seems to be something romantic, and then you will call it romantic.
It focuses on mind where there's a full stop. So can I mention like that? Like it is a very close connection. It seems to be a very close connection between means up till first paragraph where it is like focuses on mind. Can I mention like that?
You are trying to say that as because there is a full stop, he is focusing on mind.
No, can I mention that is it? It seems like a very close connection between a beloved and his lover.
No, don't bring that analogy now, because I don't think it will continue to be seem to be so, because towards the end of the poem you will get something more. So don't
Yes.
analyze with it. Don't. I think that there is no romantic touch here. Just nostalgic touch in the mind of the author, in the mind of the poet, who is feeling nostalgic for his motherland. Next, America. He is addressing America. America, I see your map like the palm of a hand stretched out on my lap. He is comparing the map of America like the palm of a person's hand, and he can see it. Mississippi traces your lifeline to the south, while the Great Lakes draw circles along the St. Lawrence headline. But where is your heartline? Now, from this paragraph, actually, there is a division of paragraph. You can read it properly. But on mine, you think it mentally that one paragraph ends here, and the next paragraph is here where he calls or addresses America as a person. America, I see your map like the palm of a hand stretched out on my lap. He is looking at the map of America. It looks like the palm of his own hand, through which he sees that the river, great river Mississippi, you have heard the name of Mississippi. Here is a lot of allusions, a lot of references to the geography and palmistry of India, geography of America and palmistry, which is more practiced in India. So be careful about these words. I can see on the palm of my hand as if the Mississippi traces your lifeline to the south in the whole of America, throughout America. The great river of Mississippi runs from north to south. It is a life-giving river to the land of America. While the Great Lakes draw circles, there are also lakes, many lakes throughout America, which are connected by the great river called St. Lawrence. So you can write down what is St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence is a big river that begins at the outflow of Lake Ontario. St. Lawrence is one of the greatest rivers of America, beginning at Lake Ontario, Ontario, Lake Ontario, and flows down to the Atlantic Ocean. Flows down to the Atlantic Ocean. Full stop. It merges with the sea. MERGES, merge kora mane mishe jawa. It merges with the sea, with the Atlantic Ocean, in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. GULF. You know the meaning of the word Gulf?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. It emerges in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, which is the largest estuary, estuary spelling ESTUARY. Estuary means where a river merges with the ocean. That is called estuary. Which in Bengali, what we call them? You know the Bengali? What we call estuary? Estuary is the place where Mohana. Right, thank you. It is the largest estuary in the world. So St. Lawrence is a river, great river, which is running through a lot of districts and touching the Great Lakes also throughout America, and it reaches the sea at a place which is the largest estuary in the world. And it is also important, you don't have to write it, write down up to that I have said. It is also important, you must know it. It is most important from commercial point of view. Most of the ships, liners, cargoes that used to carry great amount of materials from the heart, from the inner places of America towards the outer sea is being carried through this river and to the estuary. So this St. Lawrence and its lakes, they contribute a lot of help to the materialistic development of the country. Again, I will come back to the first 4 lines of the second paragraph. America, I see your map like the palm of a hand stretched out on my lap. And I can see the map of America as if I am looking at my own hand, on the palm of hand, in which I can see the river Mississippi is running through your body from north to south. It is your lifeline. It gives water to a lot of people, lot of country, lot of districts. So it carries the lifeline. While the Great Lakes draw circles, and the Great Lakes with which the country is full of, along the St. Lawrence headline. St. Lawrence is another great river that is headline that gives material prosperity. Head is something which is associated with reason, which is associated with our practical life. So St. Lawrence is a river which contributes to the commerce, to the trade, to the monetary gain of the country. Along the St. Lawrence headline, I can see that your headline is passing through different lakes and towards the estuary of St. Lawrence. But where is your heartline? He is comparing the land of America with the palm of a man. And he says there is heartline, where there is headline, there is lifeline, but there is no heartline in America. Where is your heartline? Can you understand the point? Heartline. Heartline, what is heartline in Indian palmistry? These things are associated with different aspects of our life. Lifeline gives you how much you will live. Headline gives you how much you will be intellectually aware. And heartline gives you love, emotion, feeling for others. So the author, basically an Indian, due to professional work, he had to go there and remain there. He is asking that where is your heartline? Next slide. On the Mount of Jupiter. Now, these are references of palmistry. These are very important. If you want to, you can write it down the points. Mount of Jupiter. If you stretch your hand, if you open your hand, you will see. I don't know whether you can see my hand or not. There is a raised portion in our hand, just between the index finger and the forefinger, which is called the Mount of Jupiter. This one, this place. Can you show it? See it? This is the Mount of Jupiter.
Yes, ma'am.
A Mount of Jupiter. This is called Mount of Jupiter. Between the index finger and the forefinger, the raised place. It shows that how much Jupiter is associated with. It is mythologically collected. It is associated with ego, with power, with strength, control over others. I'll give you note on it later on. Just try to understand now. On the Mount of Jupiter, where is your heartline? There should have been a note of question marks after heartline, isn't it? Then you could have understood the meaning clearly. Where is your heartline? Then comes another line. On the Mount of Jupiter, if your map is like a palm, then on the Mount of Jupiter, New England cocks its eyes at Europe. There are 6 districts which are called New England in America. They are called New England. And they are cocking. To cock means to look at something very eagerly. Cock means, you know, murgi turgi itadi. But here cock is verb. The New England cocks means looking eagerly. When sometimes we become very eager and look through the window, what is happening there? That is, you are cocking your eyes. New England cocks its eyes. New England is a group of countries. He is calling them, their name is in New England. And New England, actually most of the people who settle in America came from England. Naturally, as a nostalgic feeling, most of them are thinking about their own old country. New England cocks its eyes at Europe. And the countries of New England in America, counties or districts of New England, they are eagerly looking at Europe. Your Venus is still in heat. Venus is also a term associated with palmistry. Also, write down, Venus is a name, a town in America. It is in Florida, in the state of Texas. Venus is a town in the state of Texas in Florida, and also Venus is a name of a place which I will show you later on in palmistry. Towards the base of the hand, হাতের নিচের দিকে থাকে Venus. All these terms are from palmistry. Venus is still in heat in the far south in Florida. In the far south in Florida, your Venus, the Venus place, the Venus town, is still in heat, is very hot, is very excited. And the Mount of Moon shimmers on the California beach. And the Mount of Moon, it is also one of the aspects of our palmistry. Mount of Moon. This place is associated with creativity and imagination. And the Mount of Moon shimmers. Shimmers means to shine. Shine. To shine. Not brightly, but with a soft, slightly wavering light. The light is sometimes wavering, sometimes becoming increasing in intensity, and sometimes becoming, মানে আমরা যাকে বাংলায় বলি দপদপ করে জ্বলা, shimmering. Shimmering means which is not very bright, very soft, but sometimes it is becoming very bright, and sometimes it's dim. And the Mount of Moon in your country shimmers on California beach. They are shimmering in the California beach. That means your all your creativity and all your imagination is in the beaches of California. California beach is very famous. It is a very long beach, very some 9,000 kilometers or something like that. Most of the people used to go there for enjoying sea bath. But America, where has vanished your heartline? This is the vital question. The poet is asking, all these things are there. You are very rich. You have headline, you have lifeline, but where is your heartline? Has some taste explosion sucked it underground? You have tasted some bomb, some explosion, and maybe your heartline has been sucked. Has been sucked underground. Is it so that you have lost your heart? Your heartline has been sucked underground by some explosion. You are busy in inventing, in discovering new and new bombs and explosive materials. Is it so that your heartline has been obliterated, has gone underground along with an explosion? Has some taste explosion sucked it underground? Then stop. Next, I remember river Falgun. Then the poet is referring to a river of India whose name is Falgun. Have you heard the name of river Folgu? Have you heard the name of river Folgu? Folgu is a river which has been lost,
Yes, ma'am.
which is no longer visible. There is another river. If you are a person associated with Kasrapara, Kollani, Nabodip, this area, there was a river which was called River Jamuna, which was earlier being flown through these places. But this river is now dried up, completely dried up. It is now divided into small khals. Those who are staying, there is Mathura bill and other bills, Kuliapati bill, some bills, means large lakes like things. Actually, they were part of River Jamuna, which in earlier times used to pass through Bengal and connected with River Ganga, which is no longer now. So River Falgun or Folgu is one such river which used to remain unseen. It remained dried up. It was there in the past. The poet says, I remember river Falgun that goes dry in summer, defying our prayers. We, the people of India, we pray for the full blown river even in summer so that we can have water from them. But unfortunately, in summer it dries up. It is the river where once the Buddha got enlightenment. It is a river. Those who had gone to Goya, perhaps you have heard there was a river called Fulgu Nodi, by the side of which Buddha got his enlightenment.
Ma'am, hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Ma'am, actually the river Folgu flows under the sand. If we dig the sand, the water will
Yes.
come out.
Yes. 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 That
এটাই
is
ওর মাহাত্ম্য।
it is. It is there. It is in Folgu. It is in
Yes,
Folgu.
it's Folgu
And
Nadi. It's
Folgu
in
Nadi, but
Gora.
not in our Jamuna that is converted into Mathura Bill and Kuliapatit Bill and other things. And you will heard there is a story about Sita when Sita went there and she was trying to give the
Yes,
last
ma'am.
rite to
Mm.
Dasharath. There is a story. পিণ্ড বানাতে পারছিল না, she was unable, and then she got the water from river Fulgu. Yes, it was apparently it seems to be dry, but the river there is water under now. When once Buddha got enlightenment, so it is clear after this Buddha got enlightenment. So the poet refers that in spite of having a river which is apparently dried up, which in summer seems to be dried up, and which is an important river because it has given the final realization of Lord Buddha, who is the greatest saint of the earth, and learned to take the earth for a begging bowl. And there, by the side of that river, Buddha understood the whole of the world is nothing but a Maya. It's a begging bowl. It's nothing real. Only human suffering is real. You can remember that story of Buddha Dev, that he had given up his princely life, all his comforts, because when he saw that how people are suffering. But here, the fisher. Now, is it clear you have to begging bowl? And then
Yes, ma'am.
oh, thank you. Then he is comparing your place, the place of America. There is River Folgu that seems to be apparently dried up, but in your country, but here in your America, here the fission and fusion are the two words associated with atomic energy, which are very much important for preparing atom bombs. These are the two theories, fission and fusion, which give man tremendous power. An atom bomb was created through it. It was created from nothing. Atom is the last particle of a material, of a thing. If I go into the details of it, that will be a science class. Unfortunately, I have to do something also like teaching the students of BSc, they have the fission and fusion and atomic energy. Then I myself have to go through all these things and then tell them. So is it clear? But fission and fusion are the processes. Just learn this much, that these are the processes needed for creating atomic bombs, atom bombs. But here the fission and fusion, your scientists envision. To envision means to see, to vision, to have a glimpse of, to dream of. Here in America, your scientists can see or can look forward only to the fission and fusion. Offer your palmists nothing but confusion. And as a result of that thing, as a result of too much materialistic civilization, you offer nothing but confusion. Okay, clear up to this? Sailing back.
Ma'am, this one offer your palmist nothing but confusion. Ma'am, this line I'm not clear.
Clear. Your scientist envision. Your scientist can look forward. Your scientist can imagine, can dream of nothing but fission and fusion. And therefore, they offer your palmist. They offer your reader who is reading the palm. When if you are an Indian, if you can read through palmistry, you can read the history of the country. But as a palmist, if I can read the history of your country, I see nothing but confusion. There is utter confusion. So in India, there is some spiritual light, there is some spiritual hope. But in your country, there is only materialistic thing, but nothing but confusion. Clear up to this? Just word meaning?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sailing back
Yes,
from
ma'am.
let me finish the poem and then let me give you the notes And even after that, if there remains something not understood, then please ask. Now, sailing back from mescaline. What is mescaline? Write down. Mescaline. Mescaline. You have heard the name of marijuana, isn't it?
Ma'am, please, mescaline spelling টা একটু বলে দিন।
MES, it is in the text. MESCALIN. MESCALIN. It is sometimes pronounced as LINE also. Here the author has used it as MESCALIN, but if you search it in Google, they will show it as mescaline, LIN. However, it is an intoxicant. It is an intoxicant. Intoxicant, INTOXINT. Intoxicant means which makes you intoxicated. Nesha kora jinis. It is an intoxicant like LSD. I think due to Sushant Singh Rajput's death, you are now listening to all these things. LSD, marijuana, and other things. I think you know all these things. LSD. Mescaline is an intoxicant like LSD, occurs naturally in a type of cactus. Occurs, OCCURS, occurs naturally in a type of cactus in South America. In South America. Full stop. It has a long tradition. It has a long traditional history. It has a long traditional history of use. It has a long traditional history of use. So sailing back from mescaline. Mescaline is a kind of liquid that they get from cactus. That type of cactus usually grows in South America, and some sort of drug is used. People used to take it from a long time in the ancient past.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. Can you just spell out the word use? Is it YEWS or USE? Can you spell out that word?
Used.
Used.
You please repeat the line first in which I have made use of this.
Yes, ma'am. It has a long traditional history of use or use. You have said something.
USE, only USE. Now,
okay, ma'am.
So next word, marijuana. This is also known to you. Sailing back from mescaline to marijuana, someone said there was never such a line in this ancient newborn land. In this ancient newborn land, see how contradictory both these things are. This is called oxymoron. It is a type of figure of speech. When two contradictory words are used side by side in order to strike a new meaning. For example, a person is a student who is regularly late. A student who is regularly late. Every day he comes late for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. If he enters into the class and I say, here comes the regularly irregular student. Here comes the regularly irregular student. So these two contradictory words are being used to create a striking effect in your language. This is a part of poetic language. Ancient newborn. How can it be? Which is ancient? How can it be newborn? I will explain it later. So sailing back from mescaline to marijuana, you have a long history of use of mescaline to marijuana, giving pleasure, giving intoxication to people. Someone said, there was never such a line. But There was mescaline, there was marijuana, but there was never such line, hot line in your country. In this ancient, America was an ancient land, which was later discovered by the English people and was dominated by them. So the new America is a newborn land established on the ancient land mass of that continent. Is it clear? Ancient newborn. Ancient because that land was there. That was mainly populated by the Red Indians and some Negroes and the people of South America, which was later on aggressively attacked by the English people who went from England and took possession of the land, and they became the master, which made the modern America. So in this ancient newborn land, Hori grow corn and PL 480, write down. This poem has so many meanings. PL 480, write down. PL 480 dash is Public Law 480. PL 480 means Public Law 480. It was a law, আইন তৈরি করা হয়েছিল. Founded in 1954 in America. Founded in 1954.
Ma'am, public law.
Law. Founded or established in 1954. Founded or established in 1954. Assuring, ASSURING, assuring provision of food assistance around the whole world. Provision of food assistance, খাবার দেয়া হবে. Provision of food assistance throughout the whole world. For more than 50 years. For more than 50 years. Comma, more than 50 years, comma, providing food for 3 billion people. Provided food for 3 billion people in 150, providing food to 3 billion people in 150 countries. 150 countries in the world. Full stop. Now, it is replaced by monetary help. Now, it is replaced by monetary help. Now, it is replaced by monetary help. So, what is PL 480? PL 480 is a law.
Ma'am, now it is the last line.
Now it is replaced by monetary help. Monetary, MONETARY. Monetary help. So first try to understand the matter. You don't have to write the things. Actually, after American civilization, after American liberation, and America became completely a free country, it became democratic, and the whole of the country was full of so many different types of corns, grains produced. The country was full of produce, and then they made a law that whenever there is any sort of food shortage throughout the world in any country, they will supply food for them. Even in India, they supplied a lot of food during the years when we were small children. During the 1950s, 60s, American used to send wheat, flour, powder mill, soybean chunk, many things they used to. Most of the third world countries got help from them. That was a law, PL 480. And now no longer they give those corn and food and other things. And now America helps others with money. Where we grow to,
Ma'am,
yes.
ma'am,
Yes.
is it in like in 1964 they didn't
No,
supply
no,
India?
not 64, not 54, 54.
No, ma'am, I am asking you a question, ma'am.
Uh,
Is it like in 1964 they didn't supply the wheat to India and they just drowned all the wheat into the sea?
yeah,
Is it like, matlab, is it
yes,
happened, ma'am?
yes,
Has it
yes,
happened like
yes.
this?
Yes, yes, yeah, rightly. I was feeling allured to tell all those things because, but I restrained myself because I have to finish. Actually, for a long time, they supplied with these things, with the food, grain, other things. You know, along with the food grain came also something bad. For example, you have seen the tree Parthenium plants, Parthenium plants are full of poisonous element. They came to India along with those food grain. So along with the food, they also gave us something, some bad thing also. And then people throughout the world started to revolt against it. That Americans are sending food along with them. They are sending us poison, all these things. Actually, America had such a large produce that they cannot finish it. They cannot consume it all. So they made the law that they will give it to the rest of the countries. And at a time when the rest of the countries of the world revolted against accepting their food, they have no other way but to drown the food into the sea. It happened. It happened so. You are right. So may I go to the text now?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, where we grow corn and PL 480 and make color TV sets in plenty. And you are not only you are making PL 40, but you are making abundance of color TV sets. That means material things are here in full amount. Till our chests are nearly empty and brain spout tons of TNT. TNT is a high degree explosive. So you are producing sufficient funds, you are producing sufficient amount of things which are needed for material comfort till our chests are empty and our brains and chests become empty. We lost all humanity, all kindness, all sort of fellow feeling, and it becomes almost empty. And brains spout tons of TNT. And what your intellect gives, spout means to give. Spout is a noun as well as a verb. Spout, you know, you have saw the kettle. Kettle you have seen? Kettle. চার কেটলি দেখেছো? চার কেটলিটা যে যে মুখটা দিয়ে চাটা বেরোয়, the place through which the tea comes out, it is called spout. এই যে গোল মতো বাঁকানো মুখটা, এটা বলে spout. That means anything comes out is spouting. সেটা তুমি মুখ দিয়ে বার করো, you are spouting water. You are spouting tea from the kettle. And brain spout, brain কি দিচ্ছে আমাদের তোমাদের আমেরিকা? Tons of TNT. TNT is a high explosive. Clear up to this? Then there is again break of idea. It is Christmas again, whatever it may be. Again there is Christmas. So what is Christmas? Christmas symbolizes unity with humanity. Christmas symbolizes the spirit of enjoyment. Uh, Christmas symbolizes togetherness. Again, Christmas has come. And the shape of a heart neatly painted. You don't have heart line. You have lost everything from your chest. But you have painted a heart. Neatly you have painted a heart to a cross. And that stand on a hill we have set up its stone. And that much carefully we have set up that cross upon a hill, showing you only superficial heartiness, superficial sincerity, superficial warmth, in which you are lacking. The poet is comparing the warmth, the sincerity, the fellow feeling, which is in abundance in India but not in America. So there is headline, lifeline, but not heartline. Okay, clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, till our chest, that chest, can it mean treasury? Or it is just simply our body part?
Both. Chest
Both.
means both. Chest means which is treasury. Chest here means uh, physical part of the human body. Chest. Our
Okay, ma'am.
chest means the repository. Chest is the place where there is a heart. Chest is the place where there is the fellow feeling, sympathy, warmth, and everything. That has become full empty. Yeah, we have lost
Okay.
everything. And brains, towns updated. Okay, clear?
Mm,
So, would
okay,
you
ma'am.
now like to write down a few points very quickly so that I can go to the next?
Ma'am, one more question, ma'am. Ma'am, I see your map like the palm of a hand. That line, is it a personification over there?
Is it a?
Is it? Is there a personification?
Yes, in the first line, America is being personified.
No, ma'am. In the line, I see your map like the palm of a hand stretched on my lap.
No, here
In
is
that line,
wrong.
I'm
No,
asking.
no, 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 no.
Oh,
Here
okay,
I
ma'am.
means poet himself. Okay, I means poet
Okay, ma'am.
himself. But when he calls in somewhere America, that there America is being called as a person. Okay, clear? Okay, please write down a few points. Number one, Ayappa Panikar, K.A. Panikar, dash, poet, critic, scholar of Kerala. Poet, critic, scholar of Kerala. Poet, critic, scholar of Kerala.
Ma'am,
Comma.
please repeat from the beginning, ma'am. A-K. I got disconnected that time.
अच्छा अच्छा A.K. Panikar, Panikar, A.K. Panikar, dash, poet, critic, scholar, dash, born in 1930, born in 1930,
Ma'am, poet critics, then
scholar, poet, critic, comma, scholar, dash, born in 1930, born in 1930, full stop. Next point. Remained in USA. Next point. Remained, R-E-M-A-I-N-E-D. Remained in USA. Remained in USA for PhD, for doing PhD. Remained in USA for doing PhD. For doing PhD from 1969 to 1971. From 1969 to 1971. Full stop. Next point. Next point. The text prescribed, the text prescribed is section 7 section 7 of the long poem section 7 of the long poem Passage to America. Passage to America. That means you are not reading the whole poem. You are reading only a part of the, only section 7. Full stop. Next point. It reminds us the writings of
Ma'am, it reminds.
reminds
It reminds.
it reminds us the writings of two earlier writers. It reminds the writings of two earlier writers. Dash within quotation দিয়ে লেখো a passage to India by a passage to India within quotation a passage to India by E.M. Foster, E full stop capital E.M. E capital M capital.
Ma'am, your voice is not clear.
বলো
And it is dropping, ma'am. I can't hear you properly.
what is the problem?
Ma'am, we are having internet issues.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
also missed.
We can't hear you
Ma'am,
properly.
that is my. I think that is our internet issue because at times even I lost the. Network.
But if you have lost it, then from where you have lost it, I don't know. If it is very
Ma'am,
long,
please repeat the line. Ma'am, please repeat the line from a passage to India by. Anusha, Preeti,
Ma'am, a passage to India by E.M. After that? Please
E.M.
repeat, ma'am.
E.M. Foster.
Ma'am,
One
can you
is
spell it?
A B C D E capital.
E.M. After that?
M E capital full stop M capital full stop Foster Forster.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Forster. Forster. Passage to India by E.M. Forster, comma. And passage to England. A passage to England by Nirad C. Chaudhuri, N capital, Nirad, Nirad, C capital, Niradher pore lekho C capital, Nirad C. Chaudhuri, Choudhury, Nirad C. Chaudhuri, full stop. Next point number 4 or 5. Next point.
Now 5.
Originally written in Malayalam. Malayalam spelling Malayam. Malayam. Originally written in Malayalam. Shubhanita, are you connected or you have lost connection? Shubhanita, she says that there are some thundering outside their home. So she has lost connectivity.
Ma'am, we will share later on the group.
Yes. What are you saying? Originally it was written in Malayalam, comma, later translated by the poet himself. Later translated into English by the poet himself. Later translated into English by the poet himself. Full stop. Next point. No capital letter is used. No capital letter is used. Dash. A revolt against existing practices. A revolt against existing practices. Dash.
Ma'am, your voice is not coming. Ma'am, your voice is not coming.
My voice is not being clear, not very clear. So, am I to take help of the headphone?
Yes, ma'am. That's it.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, you are clear
ma'am,
to
I
the
think,
rest of us. It is a
ma'am, you
problem
are
with the
clear.
individual students' internet connection. So please continue. We don't have a problem. For the
Yes,
rest
ma'am,
of
and
us, we can put it on the chat so that you don't have a problem.
yes, we will just message you later on in the group, ma'am.
What happened? I lost your connection. What do you want to tell me?
Ma'am, we want to say that you continue. We will share all this in the group, in the WhatsApp group. Because from your side, there is no connection problem, ma'am. It's from our side.
So, what am I to do? What do you want me to do?
Continue with the
Ma'am,
text,
you
ma'am.
please continue with the dictation. We will share our notes afterwards in the group. Okay,
Okay,
ma'am?
but you
Thank
want
you.
me to use the headphone?
No, ma'am,
No,
as you
ma'am.
like.
Ma'am, please
Ma'am,
continue with whatever you were doing. We are good
ma'am,
here.
yes, ma'am,
Oh,
whatever you
I
are
don't know.
comfortable, you do that.
Oh, okay. Mm. So actually, when I used to go by train and I used to see the young girls, they are using headphone and they are talking with this part in their face, near their mouth. I used to be surprised that why they are talking like this. Now only I can understand that all these things are needed. So we were in point number 6. No
Yes,
capital
ma'am.
letter is used. No capital letter is used.
Yes,
Dash.
a revolt against existing practices.
Practices. Dash. Making. Dash means I am not completing the sentence. I am giving you the points only. Dash. Making the expression more free. Thereby he is making the expression more free. Dash. Sorry. Full stop.
And please repeat the line. A revolt against. I can't hear
A revolt
it
against.
properly again.
Yes. A revolt against existing practices. A revolt against existing practices. Dash. Existing practices. Dash. Okay. Dash. Making the expression more free. Making the expression more free. Full stop. Next point. Next point. The earth the poet carried with him. The earth the poet carried with him from India. The earth the poet carried with him from India is no more there. Is no more there. Is no more there. 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 Full stop. Next point. The air that the poet breathed. That the poet breathed. That the poet breathed here in America. The air that the poet breathed here in America is also borrowed. Is also borrowed. You see at the beginning of the line, he says somewhere that the air is, when you are breathing out, I am taking that air, something like that. It means that the air is also that I am taking in America is borrowed. Full stop. Next point. Lifeline. Next point. Lifeline. Headline. And heartline. Dash. Three important aspects. These three things symbolize three important aspects. The three important aspects dash social life, comma, spiritual life, social life, spiritual life, sorry. প্রথমে সোশ্যাল লাইফ, তারপরে কমার্শিয়াল লাইফ। হেডলাইন মানে কমার্শিয়াল লাইফ, হার্টলাইন মানে হচ্ছে সোশ্যাল লাইফ, আর স্পিরিচুয়াল লাইফ হচ্ছে হার্ট লাইনটা। লাইফ লাইন হচ্ছে সোশ্যাল লাইফ, হেডলাইন হচ্ছে কমার্শিয়াল লাইফ, হার্ট লাইন হচ্ছে স্পিরিচুয়াল লাইফ। বুঝেছে? ফুল স্টপ। Heart is also linked. Heart is also linked with. Heart is also linked with emotions, feelings. With emotions and feelings. Full stop. Next point. Next point. The more one becomes advanced, the more one becomes advanced materially, the more one becomes advanced materially, materially, the more one becomes advanced materially, the more they become materially, তারপরে কমা দাও একটা, the more they become disconnected with others, comma, with nature, comma, with God Almighty, with others, comma, with nature, comma, with God Almighty. Full stop. Last point. Excessive production of food, comma, drugs, food, drugs, and explosives, explosives, food.
Expression productivity.
আরেকবার বলো।
Expression productivity. Almighty, the next line of Almighty.
Excessive productivity of food, comma, drugs, and explosives, 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 made the life confused in America. ফুল স্টপ। পোয়েমের সম্পর্কে এটা আমরা সব পেয়ে গেলাম। You will need then, you will have to write down one question, the summary and critical appreciation of the poem. আর কিছু না। Write down the summary and the critical appreciation of the poem. এরপরে তোমাদের আমি ওয়ার্ড নোট কিছু দিয়েছি, কিছু দিইনি। সেন্ট লরেন্স দিয়ে দিয়েছি, নিউ ইংল্যান্ড, ফ্লোরিডা, এগুলো আমি দিয়ে দেবো তোমাদের, না তোমাদের লাগবে না?
Yes, ma'am, দিয়ে দেন।
নিউ ইংল্যান্ড লেখো, এগুলো হচ্ছে ওয়ার্ড নোট। নিউ ইংল্যান্ড, এ রিজিয়ন, নিউ ইংল্যান্ড কোন জায়গাটাকে বলে? এ রিজিয়ন, REGION, রিজিয়ন located in the northeast, a region located in the northeast of USA, northeast of USA. Made up of six states. ছটা স্টেট নিয়ে তৈরি। ওই জায়গাটাকে বলা হয় নিউ ইংল্যান্ড। নেক্সট পয়েন্ট লেখো, ফ্লোরিডা।
ম্যাম সরি টু ডিস্টার্ব ইউ, একবার আপনি এই লাইনটা আরেকবার কাইন্ডলি বলবেন। নিউ ইংল্যান্ড, a region located in the, তারপরে আমি ওয়ার্ডটা শুনিনি।
A region
Ma'am, ma'am, may I say something? Ma'am, actually, I have noted down everything that you have said. I will share in the group. Just give them the link to join the group.
Yes, ma'am. That will be very helpful for us.
What I will give them?
Ma'am, please give the
Ma'am,
WhatsApp link.
Link.
What
Link.
link?
So
Yeah.
I have to message it in through this message box.
Yes.
They will get it. There is a message box. If I send here, they will get the link.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. Yes.
okay. Just a minute. Wait a minute.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Why?
In the meanwhile, can someone tell me the word after a region located in the?
Yeah, I'm telling you. A region located in the
Anusha,
northeast of USA.
Anusha, please.
Thank you.
Anusha, please repeat the line from the beginning, please.
Word note, ठीक है? New England
Yes.
dash a region located in the northeast of USA. Made up of 6 states.
Why?
Is it clear? Or shall I repeat once
No,
more?
that's clear. Thank you so much.
Please repeat once more, Anusha. I didn't get it.
A region located in the northeast of USA. A region located.
Okay.
In the northeast of USA.
Okay. After that?
Comma.
Okay.
Made up of 6 states.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Welcome.
Anusha.
Welcome.
So I have sent this through message. Will they get it? Or may I to send?
Ma'am, it's the link of Google Meet app. It's not the link of WhatsApp.
No. So they want the Google link?
No, ma'am. They want the WhatsApp group link.
Yes, ma'am. WhatsApp group. So
WhatsApp group link. How can I
we can join the group, ma'am. We can join the group.
How can I do it?
Anusha, please help me, ma'am. Now.
Please
you have the link, Anusha?
Anyone knows about that link? I don't know actually.
Okay. Preeti, do you have the link?
Ma'am, I am guiding you. See if you can help on this. So what you can do is that you can go into the group.
Yes.
You can go into the WhatsApp group and then you can click on the main thing. Since you are the admin of the group, you just click on the BEGC 132 and there you can find one link. Is there any sort of link in the description, below the description side?
There is
ma'am, Salman, ask ma'am, have you created any group for BGC 132?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Salman, are you in the group?
I am there.
Salman, are you
Yes,
in the
I am
group?
in the group.
So please join, add us, na?
See, ma'am is the admin there, and only I think so. The admins have the right to see the group link.
Right.
Okay, unless it's actually shared.
Salman, please guide ma'am so that she can share the link.
Okay, I would just help you with this. So see, see with the thing, it's written BEGC 132. Click on it, and below the description where you have the BEGC created all the participants and all. See it if there is some sort of link. Or below the, if you scroll down the group participants and all, you can also see there is something like share the link or share group invite. Something it's written like that.
No, at the end there is exit group, report group at the end.
Okay.
BGC created by you on R8 to 20 description. This group is meant for studying IGNOU BGC 132.
Salman, if you
Hmm?
can, you just can do a screen share to ma'am, na? If you have that.
See, right now the thing is that since that class is going on, I do not want to actually skip. It will take time for me as well
Okay,
because
okay.
I'm
No,
with
the
the laptop.
problem is not the
Continue with the
some
class.
students have been left out. What is the problem?
Okay, ma'am, you do one thing. The best thing is that you just give the number in the WhatsApp group. The students who want, they can message you and you can add them later. That's the best thing you can do right now. It's time consuming just to actually.
Yes, ma'am. You
Yeah.
please share your number to the chat inbox. So we'll individually message you, and you can add us in the group.
Ma'am,
So,
that's good with you?
am I to give my phone number, this WhatsApp phone number in this Google Meet chat box, or
Yes,
in
ma'am. You can.
Okay,
You
Yes,
can give it.
ma'am.
okay, you can do it.
Okay,
I
okay, that is better.
that
I
equipment would
think that
use
is
it.
Oh, we
Proper.
will message you individually, and after that, you will add us in your group. Is it okay with you, ma'am?
801-756-2579.
Ma'am, shall we continue?
Yes, yes, I'm typing the number, etc. Have you got my number now? I've sent
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So now
Got
the
it.
students will be able to enter into the class.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Okay, okay, okay. So we were writing about New England. You have written New England, and then Florida, southernmost state in USA. Southern, SOUTHERN, southernmost state in USA, having southernmost state of USA, southernmost state of USA, having hundreds of miles of beach, having hundreds of miles of beaches, BEACHES, having hundreds of miles of beaches. That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
No, next.
Yes, ma'am.
Next we
Ma'am,
have
I
got,
was saying that I have written your word note in my copy. I will send them. You can continue with the next chapter.
okay, okay.
Just
Next
you
what,
join them and then I will send them.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you.
that will be better. Next, there are a few words, Mount of Jupiter, Mount of Moon, Mount of Venus. Write down all these things, they are words of mystery. এবার মানেগুলো লেখো মাউন্ট অফ জুপিটার মানে আমরা যাকে বাংলায় বলি বৃহস্পতির জায়গা মাউন্ট অফ মুন চন্দ্রের জায়গা মাউন্ট অফ জুপিটার আমি পড়ার সময় আই হ্যাভ সেড ইট ইট মিনস ডিটারমিনেশন ইগো নিড ফর পাওয়ার মাউন্ট অফ মিনস মুন মিনস ক্রিয়েটিভিটি অ্যান্ড ইমাজিনেশন আর মাউন্ট অফ ভেনাস বোঝাচ্ছে a person's physical appearance. Okay, now I will go to the next block. This block is finished. Next block, we'll start from next block, unit 1. Write down. Have you completed your writing of the previous
Yes,
class?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
New class, start new page, block 3, unit 1. Block 3, unit 1. Block 3, unit 1. দলিত সাহিত্য, block 3, unit 1. Dalit Sahitya by Eleanor Gilliot. Eleanor Gilliot. Eleanor spelling E-L-E-A. Eleanor spelling E capital E-L-E-A-N-O-R. E-L-E-A-N-O-R. Eleanor. Huh? Eleanor Gilliot. Oh, someone has said, please add me into the group.
ম্যাম ম্যাম প্রিয়াঙ্কা বলছি ম্যাম আপনি যে নাম্বারটা আমাদের দিলেন ওটাই আপনার হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার তো?
ওটা হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার।
ওকে ম্যাম, ওকে ম্যাম।
না, একজন নাম পাঠিয়েছে, তাকে অ্যাড করে দিই। So we have written Eleanor Gilliot. I have to read only a few lines from his book. Her famous book, Eleanor Gilliot, her famous book, Eleanor Gilliot লিখে তারপরে ড্যাশ দাও, her famous book, ড্যাশ দিয়ে লেখো, উইদিন কোটেশন বইটার নাম লিখছো, From Untouchable to Dalit. From F capital, From Untouchable to Dalit. From Untouchable to Dalit. From Untouchable to Dalit. Full stop. Untouchable to Dalit. Full stop. We will read from. Acha, many of our friends have said that they are sending me to make them add them.
You add them after the class. I think so. These people will be sending you the messages. Yes. So you just continue with the class, and after the class gets over, when you get time in the evening, you can add them as and when. Okay.
Thank you. We will start from page number 6, 1.2. See, open your text. This is, we have heard that this is about completely differently. We are going to read about Dalit Sahitya. Who is Dalit? Why he is Dalit? How this is created? All these things we have to read. দেখেছো তো পরপর ওরা মেসেজ পাঠিয়ে যাচ্ছে your friends. But if I go on with adding all these things, you won't be able to have out.
Ma'am, you please continue with the class. We'll add it afterwards.
1.2. We'll start with 1.2. Except Dalit Sahitya, the historical background by Eleanor Gilliot. You are reading just a piece, just an extract from the book of Eleanor Gilliot. She was not an Indian writer. Eleanor Gilliot was a professor of history at the University of Minnesota, USA, with social and cultural history. As her areas of special interest. Have you got it? She worked extensively on the Dalit movement, including Dalit and Buddhist conversions, from Untouchable to Dalit. This is the book that she has written in 1996. From Untouchable to Dalit, she was a person, an expert in history and social science. She came to India and she studied the history of Dalit literature, Dalits, their social background, and she wrote a book. And now we have to read a part of that book. Now read the following excerpts and make notes as you go along in order to get more out of the discussion that will follow. Dalit Sahitya, Dalit Sahitya movement in Maharashtra seems to be unique, not in the phenomena of former untouchable writing literature, but in the quality of writing, its variety, its aesthetic considerations, its sense of being a movement, its ties to social action, and in the serious attention it receives as a school within the Marathi literary tradition. Parallel movements in Dalit writing have now appeared in neighboring states of Karnataka and Gujarat, and Dalit Sahitya may someday be an all-Indian movement. So Dalit Sahitya is a different type of Sahitya which is different from mainstream Sahitya or literature. Dalit Sahitya, Dalit literature is literature written by Dalits, on the Dalits, about the Dalits. And Dalit Sahitya came as a part of a movement, first in Maharashtra, started by those people whom we call untouchable, whom the people of higher caste don't like to touch. If they touch them, they will have to bath. They will have to take a bath. Those people are called untouchable. You know that history of our country. We are suffering from so many superstitions. At a time, movement against these untouchability first started in Maharashtra, physical movement, and they started to write through literature. That is called Dalit Sahitya movement. Therefore, Dalit literature is a part of Dalit movement. It started in Maharashtra, and then spread it in nearby Karnataka and Gujarat. And then in future, it will be an all India or pan India movement. The meaning of Dalit in Hindi and Marathi is ground down with paste and is now used by politicized untouchables in preference to any other designation. The term is one of pride. Untouchables have been oppressed by others. There is nothing inherently wrong with them. Previously, the word Dalit was not used. People only used untouchable or sprisho. And before that, these people, you will be surprised to know, because I have to teach Dalit literature also in Nehati College in their MA. You will be surprised to know the 37 castes of India, 37 lower castes of India were stamped, were called by the British when British were here in rule, as people belonging to the lowest class of the society who cannot have any claim to work, any claim to property, any claim to proper dress, wealth, nothing. And they are not even allowed to stay in society. And if someone kills them, the person who is killed, his family will not get justice. Because the landlord or the people belonging to higher caste are impune. You cannot give them punishment. That was English law, British law. And there was revolt against it. Slowly during the beginning of the 90s, early 90s. And then in 1920, there is a great revolt in Maharashtra. Many of the people of Maharashtra, Mahars, were denied right of having water from the pond, and they revolted against it. And in 1920s came the great leader among the Dalits, that is B.R. Ambedkar. And he took the leadership, and the movement got a new dimension. Next paragraph. Dalit creativity in all its phases is closely tied to the movement begun by the Mahar caste. Mahar was a caste of Maharashtra. Perhaps actually they are the original inhabitants of Maharashtra. But they were later on turned into untouchable, and they were not allowed to enter into the society, into the village. They have to stay outside the village. B.R. Ambedkar came to dominate this movement in 1920s, and its current achievements and stance, as well as the predominantly Buddhist belief of the movement's members, are due to his shaping. And B.R. Ambedkar was the main force who brought life and speed into the movement of the Dalit literature. The Mahars, page number 7 we are in. The Mahars, a large Marathi-speaking caste, now 80% Buddhist, and disclaiming caste had a traditional role of inferior village servant, as the British called them. I'm not going through the details. If I go through the details, when I first read the literature first, after my retirement, I joined in different colleges because I like teaching very much. I say I cannot stay idle. I want always to do something. So I joined one of the colleges in Nihati College, and I was asked to taught them Dalit literature. I started to teach them one book called Juthan. 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 J-O-O-T-H-A. Juthan means Jutha from Jutha. I know. Ducha means something, the food that you have taken, and the rest of the amount that you cannot take, but you have consumed some of it. That is called Juthan. Untouchables in previous time were provided only with Juthans, and that novel was terribly touching. You cannot remember, you cannot think that on the first day I read it, I cannot sleep. I don't know. Before reading that, I know there is untouchability. There are some people who we don't touch. We didn't touch, not now. We are no longer to believe in it. But so much suffering is there. I cannot dream of it. And there in that book, the author said that in his childhood, they did not have any food. What food they used to get? When there is a wedding ceremony on a rich person's home, after the wedding ceremony is over, the jutons are being thrown away by the rich person, and they used to collect it. They used to collect the left amount of puris, luchi, puri and luchi, the amount which the guests could not take. Some amount of laddu, left out laddu, not the whole laddu, that used to carry it. And the puris they used to dry it in sun and make it ground. And on those rainy days when there is no food, they used to take that ground dust, dried up puris. And the author writes that man who was an untouchable, after much struggle, he became a writer. He got a job, and ultimately he wrote his own autobiography. So that is not a novel, actually, there is an autobiography. He says that when throughout the day we can't have any food, at night we make some watery substance with that ground puris, and we mix some salt and some pepper, and that was like a heavenly food for us. When I read it, I cannot stop with tears. It was such a nice writing. So that was the suffering of the untouchables. You don't know it. Whatever we have.
Ma'am, what is the book name? I mean, writer's name who has written this autobiography?
It is name of the book is Juthan. I have to teach it in English, but actually it was written in.
And ma'am, writer's name?
Writer's name. Om Prakash Balmiki. Om Prakash Balmiki. Name of the writer is Om Prakash Balmiki. It is available in Hindi. I could not have the Hindi.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Sorry. The Mahars, come to page number 7. The Mahars, a large Marathi-speaking caste, now 80% Buddhist. And so there is so much untouchability and other things that these untouchables ultimately converted them into Buddhist religion, as British called them. They constituted about 9% of the population of the Marathi-speaking area in Western India, and are found in every village throughout Maharashtra. Their traditional work was to serve the village as watchmen, remover of dead cattle, messengers, etc., all-purpose servants, but with some very important duties. They also were traditionally the singers, dancers, comedians, drummers of the folk drama Tamasha. They don't have any particular profession. They are not allowed to do anything. They can only be watchmen. They can be clear. They will clear away the dead cattle, take away the dead cattle, skin them, all these things. Along with the other untouchable caste in the area, monks and chamhars, the well and temple were closed to them, and the living quarters were removed from the village proper. They were they were supposed to do all the bad things, but they were not allowed to go enter into the temple. They were not allowed to enter to take water from the wells, village well. Before 19th century, the only recorded voice of the Mahat was that of Chokha Mela, but nobody revolted against it. Nobody uttered anything through literature about these terrible sufferings. Only one person in the 14th century, his name was Chokha Mela, a 14th century poet saint within the devotional religious tradition called Bhakti. Although beloved by other saints, Chokha Mela lived as a traditional village Mahat. Only writer who wrote first in 14th century about the terrible sufferings of the untouchables. Then there is a poem by Chokha. This poem, we don't have to read it. Within 10 years, and then there was another person, his name was Wangalkar. He was a retired soldier, and he wrote a petition to British government. At that time, there was no freedom. At that time, the British were. He wrote a petition. Within 10 years of Wangalkar's petition, a whole generation of leadership had sprung up, urging these Marathas who had left the village for work in the mills, on railroad, on docks, to educate themselves and to organize to gain strength. After much time, during the early period of 19th century, Wangalkar, a person called Wangalkar, who served in the military, after retirement, he wrote to the British government to allow the scheduled caste, means untouchables, the job of military. Before that, they were not allowed to get the military job. And after his petition came into limelight, many people from many regions came to be united. While Wangalkar and other early leaders were from Bombay and Pune areas, Nagpur also formed a strong part of the movement. And so many people used to come from different parts of the country, and they brought up a movement. And that is called the Dalit movement. Next, in page number 8, Ambedkar political work, and the most important force came with the coming of B.R. Ambedkar. He was the most educated, most strong, most powerful person in this movement. Ambedkar's political work, which was the base of the movement, must be given short shrift here as a subject too complex for easy generalization. The vital concern with political, however, may be seen in the development of the Dalit Panthers, an organization founded in 1972. During 1920 to 28, up to 1956, Ambedkar died in 1956. Up to his movement, whatever happened with the hands of Dalit, with B.R. Ambedkar, and Dalit movement took a forceful shape. And then, much after his death in 1972, a new movement was created, a new group organization was founded that was called Dalit Panther. This Panther was an organization by writers to protest against the atrocities against the untouchables in the villages and ineffectiveness of the Republican Party founded by Ambedkar just before his death in 1956. The founders of these Panthers, Namdev Dhasal, Raja Dhale, were poets committed both to the literature and to the literature as a weapon. Now what happened? B.R. Ambedkar was a strong fighter. He had to fight against the mainstream politicians like Gandhi, Nehru and others. At the same time, he had to do something for his own untouchable people. And he himself established a party is called Republican Party on the year of his own death. Naturally, the party could not do much for the people. After his death, it was disintegrated and there was no work for them. Then, much after his death in 1972, a group of people organized Panthers Party, Black Panthers Party, Dalit Panthers Party. Black Panthers Party is in America. And among them, there are so many writers like Namdev Dhasal, Raja Dhale. They created a new movement through literature. Another last paragraph. Next paragraph. Another era of Ambedkar leadership, that of religious conversion, may be just an important factor in the development of Dalit Sahitya as education and politics. Another very important thing is that B.R. Ambedkar tried his best to bring some change in the mind of the Hindu leaders for the Dalits, but he could not. It cannot be. And still now, there are some people who believe in untouchability. And then being disgusted, he himself turned himself into Buddhist. He became a Buddhist follower. For conversion, উনি যে ধর্মটাকে বদলে নিতে চাইলো, when he went to take Buddhist form, 3 lakhs Dalits went there. 3 lakhs Dalits converted themselves from Dalit to converted Buddhists. And such journey is still going on. He will read a few poems about the Dalit Sahitya, from the Dalit Sahitya that we will read. Now please write down something. This is a long piece. If you read through it, you will get jumbled up. If you like, you can read. I will just give you points. Please read them and make note for their examination. Dalit Sahitya, Dalit literature. What is Dalit literature? I have said you, Dalit literature, first point. You are writing poems on 1.2, Dalit Sahitya. Dalit literature is a part of Dalit movement. Dalit literature, DL. Be very quick so that we can finish this today. Dalit literature is a part of Dalit movement first started in Maharashtra. Dalit literature as a part of Dalit movement first started in Maharashtra. Full stop. Next point. The meaning of Dalit, DLIT quotational মধ্যে, comes from the word Dala, DALA. The word Dalit comes from the word meaning Dala, DALA. এটা সংস্কৃত ওয়ার্ড। দলা মানে দলন করা, পা দিয়ে চিপে দেওয়া, দলন করা। DALA. Full stop. Next point. The meaning of Dalit both in Hindi and in Marathi. সংস্কৃতে তো মানে দলন করা, জানো। অসুর দলনী দুর্গা আমরা বলি। অসুর দলনী, অসুরকে দলন করছে, যে পায়ের নিচে আছে অসুর। The meaning of Dalit both in Hindi and in Marathi. The meaning of Dalit both in Hindi and in Marathi is, within quotation, ground down, ground down, GROUND, ground down, যাকে পিষে ফেলা হয়েছে, গ্রাইন্ড করা মানে পিষে ফেলা, ground down, comma, depressed, quotation close, full stop. Next point. The word Dalit has been, next point, the word Dalit has been officially accepted within bracket lekho in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and UP. The word Dalit has been officially accepted within bracket write down in Maharashtra, comma, Madhya Pradesh, MP and in UP, bracket close. To designate spelling DESIGNATE, to designate those who were formerly known, KNOWN, as horizons, H capital, who were formerly known as
Ma'am, designate, to designate, after that line, to designate those who were
formerly known, who were formerly known as Harijans, H capital, Harijans, Harijans, or untouchables. Harijans or untouchables. Gandhiji Harijan बोलते हैं. Full stop. Next line. Dalit literature and Dalit movement first started with the protest of the Mahars. With the protest of the Mahars. With the protest of the Mahars at the beginning of 20th century. At the beginning of 20th century. Beginning মানে হচ্ছে কিন্তু 1901, 1902, 1903, 1900 যখনই পেরিয়ে গেল তখন 20th century হলো। আমরা যখন এখন 21st centuryতে আছি। At the beginning of 20th century. Next point. During 1920s, during 1920s, 1920 থেকে 1920, 28 থেকে 56 পর্যন্ত, during 1920s, it came under the direct and strong influence of, it came under the direct and strong influence of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
Ma'am,
Bolo?
Ma'am, during 1920s,
it came under the direct and strong influence of B.R. Ambedkar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who gave it final shape, and direction, who gave it final shape and direction. Full stop. Full stop. তাহলে এটা তোমরা লিখলে দলিত মুভমেন্ট সম্পর্কে। এবারে আমরা আসছি দলিত লিটারেচার। পরের পয়েন্টে লেখো। নেক্সট পয়েন্ট, দলিত, হোয়াট ইজ দলিত লিটারেচার? কেউ যদি বলে হোয়াট ইজ দলিত লিটারেচার, কি বলবে তুমি? দলিত লিটারেচার
ম্যাম এই পয়েন্টগুলো যে আমরা লিখলাম,
এটা হলো মুভমেন্ট।
ম্যাম এই পয়েন্টগুলো যে আমরা লিখলাম এটা দলিত লিটারেচার নয়?
হ্যাঁ, দলিত লিটারেচার ইজ দলিত পার্ট, ইজ এ পার্ট অফ দলিত মুভমেন্ট। প্রথম লাইনেই তো লেখা আছে, প্রথম পয়েন্টটাই তোমার আছে, দলিত লিটারেচার ইজ এ পার্ট অফ দলিত মুভমেন্ট। ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে। এবারে দলিত কথাটা কেমন করে এলো, কেন এলো, কিভাবে এলো, মুভমেন্টটা কোথায় এলো, এটা আমরা করলাম। এবার আমরা একটা লাইন লিখে নিই, যদি তোমাদের হয়তো প্রশ্ন আসতে পারে যে হোয়াট ইজ দলিত লিটারেচার, তাহলে তোমাকে ডেফিনেশনটা লিখতে হবে। সেই জন্য আমি ডেফিনেশনটা লিখে দিচ্ছি। দলিত লিটারেচার ইজ লিটারেচার, Dalit literature is literature written by the Dalits about themselves, dash their sufferings, comma, their sufferings, their dreams, full stop, full stop.
Ma'am, repeat the line once again, ma'am. Dalit literature is a literature written by the Dalit
about their lives, dash dash their sufferings and dreams. Their sufferings and dreams. Full stop. Next one. Previously, the Dalits were not allowed. The Dalits were allowed only to. Dalits were allowed only to do. Dalits were allowed. প্রথমের onlyটা বাদ দাও. Dalits were allowed to do only the mean, M-E-A-N, mean মানে নিচু, mean মানে হয়, এখানে mean হচ্ছে adjective. The Dalits were allowed to do only the mean and lowly jobs. কিরকম কাজ করতে দেওয়া হতো? শুধু ওই কাজই দেওয়া হতো, অন্য কাজ দেওয়া হতো না। সে দলিত হয়ে যদি বলতো পড়াশোনা করতে যাব, তাহলে দেওয়া হতো না। ড্যাশ স্ক্যাভেঞ্জিং, SCAVENGING, স্ক্যাভেঞ্জিং মানে হচ্ছে ময়লা ফেলা, মানুষের ঝাঁটা দেওয়া, হিউম্যান সয়েল, মানুষের ময়লা যেটা, মানুষের মল যেটা, সেটাকে ফেলা, কমা রিমুভিং ডেড ক্যাটল, and manual labor without wages. তাদেরকে কাজ করানো হতো কিন্তু পয়সা দেওয়া হতো না, পয়সা পাবে না তারা। তোমার মাঠে কাজ করবে কিন্তু তার জন্য তোমাকে কোনো পয়সা দিতে হবে, তার কারণ তারা দলিত, এটা ছিল, এখন আর নেই। নেক্সট পয়েন্ট।
Ma'am, manual labor without
wages, 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 full stop. Next point. Wells, temples, well মানে কুয়ো, wells, comma, temples, comma, right to education, where denied to them, DENIED, were denied to them, full stop. Next point. Full stop. Next point. The first protest was made by Chokha Mela, CHOKHA. The first protest was made by Chokha Mela, comma, a 14th century poet. Who was a mahar, and
ma'am, who was a
mahar,
mahar,
caste, MAHAR, M capital.
Achha.
Who was a mahar, and like other mahars, he was forced to stay at the outskirt of the village, outskirt spelling OUTSKIRT, outskirt of the village, full stop. Next point.
Ma'am, ম্যাম
বলো।
এটা আমি শেষ করতে পারলাম না। হু ওয়াজ আ মাহার এন্ড লাইক আদার মাহার
was forced to reside at the outskirts of the village. Forced
Ma'am,
to,
I will give send and just you complete this and only 3 minutes are left.
like other 14th century poet he was a mahar, and like other mahars he was forced to stay stay at the outskirts of the village. তোমরা একটু তাড়াতাড়ি লেখো, আর লেখাতে অ্যাব্রিভিয়েশন ইউজ করো, না হলে সমস্ত কথা লিখতে গেলে অনেক দেরি হয়ে যাবে, আমরা ক্লাস শেষ করতে পারবো না। আউটস্কার্টস অফ দ্য ভিলেজ, এরপরে নিজেরা ওই জায়গাগুলো ঠিক করে নেবে, ফুল স্টপ হয়েছে। নেক্সট পয়েন্ট, নেক্সট পয়েন্ট বলবো, বিটুইন চোখা মেলা 14th century, between Chokhamela bracketed 14th century and modern protest bracketed 20th century, between Chokhamela 14th century and modern protest 20th century. No remarkable voice was heard. No remarkable voice was heard. No remarkable voice was heard. Seeking, S-E-E-K-I-N-G. No remarkable voice was heard. Seeking, S-E-E-K-I-N-G. Seeking rights for the Dalits. Rights for the Dalits. Rights for the Dalits. Next point. 1928 dash. 1928 dash. Mahad protest. Mahad. M-A-H-A-R. M-A-H-A-R apostrophe S. Mahar's protest. Within quotation, সত্যাগ্রহ ফর ওয়াটার, সত্যাগ্রহ ফর ওয়াটার এটা হয়েছিল। এদেরকে একটা পুকুরে জল নিতে দেওয়া হতো না, খেতে দেওয়া হতো না, সো সে প্রোটেস্টেড এগেইনস্ট ইট, দ্যাট ইজ কল্ড সত্যাগ্রহ ফর ওয়াটার। 1928 এ হয়েছে। নেক্সট পয়েন্ট, আম্বেদকর led the movement. Ambedkar led the movement from 1920 to 1956. 1920 to 1956. Next point. Next point.
Ma'am, it's 1956 or 26?
1920 থেকে 1956। বিআর আম্বেদকর 1920 থেকে শুরু করেছিলেন এবং তিনি মারা গেছিলেন 1956 এ। তারপরে আর কোনো লিডারশিপ নেই, কিন্তু মুভমেন্ট চলছে, সেটা এরপরে আমরা দেখছি। নেক্সট পয়েন্ট, ইন 1956 there was mass conversion, mass, M-A-S-S, mass মানে অনেক লোক একসঙ্গে করছে। There was mass conversion to Buddhism. There was mass conversion to Buddhism of 3 lakhs, 3 লক্ষ Dalit. পরের1972 establishment of Dalit Panther. Establishment of Dalit Panther dash. Establishment of Dalit Panther, D-A-L-I-T, Panther spelling P-A-N-T-H-E-R, Panther dash. A group of writers, a group of writers, a group of writers, এটা সাহিত্য হচ্ছে এখন কিন্তু, writing for the equal rights, writing for the equal rights, writing for the equal rights. Next point. Next point. 1973. 1973. For the first time, Bombay Times, একটা কাগজের নাম, খবরের কাগজের নাম, Bombay Times of India, Times of India, or Bombay Division, Bombay Times of India published a special issue of Dalit writings. A special issue of Dalit writings. Full stop. Next point. Babu Rao Bagul. Next point. Babu Rao, B-A-B-U-R-A-O. Babu Rao Bagul, B capital B-A-G-U-L. Bagul. Raja Dhale, D-H-A-L-A, Dhale, comma. Shankar Rao Kharat, Shankar, S-H-A-N-K-A-R, Shankar Rao, মানে Shankar Rao, S-H-A-N-K-A-R, আর এর পরে লেখো A-O, মানে Shankar Rao একসঙ্গে হলো। Shankar Rao Kharat, K-H-A-R-A-T, capital K, K-H-A-R-A-T, Shankar Rao Kharat, and Namdeo Dhasal, Namdeo, N-A-M-D-E-O, Namdeo Dhasal, D-H-A-S-A-L, Namdeo Dhasal, dash, are some of the writers. এরা কিছু লেখক যারা প্রথম দিক থেকে লিখছে for Dalit rights. Full stop. Next. Now, women Dalit writers are also writing for their own rights. Full stop. Last point. Dalit literature or Dalit Sahitya, jai bolon ken, has no aesthetic regulations, has no aesthetic spelling hoche A-E-S-T-H-E-T-I-C, aesthetic মানে সৌন্দর্য তত্ত্ব. It has no aesthetic regulations like mainstream literature. It has no aesthetic regulations like mainstream literature. Full stop. It has its own language. It has its own language, comma, imagery and form. Language, imagery and form. Expressing the sufferings, born, B-O-R-N, born কথাটা আসছে বহন করা, বিয়ার থেকে, born, B-O-R-N, born, আর যখন B-O-R-N হবে তখন born, জন্মগ্রহণ, born by the Dalits from time immemorial. Full stop. Dalits from time immemorial. Full stop. আজ এই পর্যন্ত হয়ে গেল।
Ma'am, can you repeat the line?
From time immemorial. স্পেলিং হচ্ছে আই এম ইম এম ই এম ও আর আই এ এল। লিখতে পেরেছো?
Time immemorial.
ইমমেমোরিয়াল। টাইম
Ma'am, can you repeat the last line?
টাইম ইমমেমোরিয়াল। ইমমেমোরিয়াল মানে যেটা তুমি স্মৃতিতে নেই, তোমার মেমোরি যেখানে কাজ করবে, এতদিন থেকে চলছে। আমি লাস্ট লাইন বলতে পারবো না, কারণ আমি মুখে মুখে বলছি, আমি ভুলে গেছি। কেউ একজন বলে দাও।
Okay, ma'am. Has no aesthetic regulation like mainstream literature. It has its own language, imagery, and form expressing the sufferings borne by the Dalits from time immemorial.
So this is for today. Let us leave. We will be meeting on next Tuesday at the same time at 11. By that time, those of your friends who are unable to join them, please ask them to call me after 7 o'clock. Okay? Have a nice day, beta.
Ma'am, my homework, ma'am. Ma'am, I send you my homework.
Yes, you send it to my email ID.
Ma'am, I sent last week.
Who is talking? Preeti?
Yes, ma'am.
Preeti, have you sent it by mail or by WhatsApp?
Ma'am, by mail.
No, I have not received yours. Have I talked with you that I have received yours? I have. Whenever I receive,
No, ma'am, you didn't reply.
I immediately say that I have received it.
Okay, ma'am, you didn't reply. Okay, I'll check.
So that means I have not received. Preeti, you please send it again.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Maybe it has reached somewhere, spam or something. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay?
Ma'am.
Please.
Yes.
Ma'am, after this class, I'll ping you in the WhatsApp. Please add me in this group, ma'am.
Please, beta, send your message. I will add you only after 7 in the evening.
Okay.
It's a lunch hour. I have a family.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. No problem.
Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We'll meet you next Tuesday.